We're counting down the 100 greatest Hallmark Christmas movies of all time from 100 all the way to number 1. Throughout the series, we'll revisit each movie's story, discuss why it earned a spot on our list, and highlight the moments that have made it a favorite among Hallmark Christmas fans. You'll also hear from my fellow Hallmark podcasters and YouTubers as they share their thoughts on the movie, its placement, and if I lost my freaking mind. If you're just joining this series, I encourage you to start from the beginning. And if you enjoy Christmas content all year long, then click on that subscribe button. So grab a cup of cocoa, get cozy, and let's continue the countdown with numbers 80 through 61. North Pole. North Pole is powered by Christmas spirit, but as people around the world grow too busy to celebrate holiday traditions, the city begins to lose its magic. Santa sends Clementine, an overly ambitious elf, to inspire people to believe in Christmas again. She soon connects with a young boy named Kevin, who hopes to help his mother Chelsea rediscover her Christmas spirit and save the town's tree lighting ceremony. By 2014, Hallmark Christmas movies were becoming essential holiday viewing, though many were starting to feel repetitive. North Pole stood out for its ambition and surprisingly high production value. While not perfect, the CGI depiction of Santa's village and the sleigh flying sequences are better than you might expect. Beyond the visuals, the cast is truly what makes this movie work. Bailey Madison delivers a charming performance as the innocent yet confident Clementine, who takes on the responsibility of saving the North Pole. Much like Buddy the Elf, Clementine struggles to understand the real world outside Santa's village. The film also marks Tiffany Thiessen's only Hallmark movie appearance. For many children of the 80s, including myself, the former Saved by the Bell star was a childhood crush, making it a shame she never appeared in more Hallmark films. Stories about bringing people back to Christmas after they lost their way are some of my favorite holiday themes, and North Pole does an excellent job of showing a community coming together, spreading Christmas spirit, and ultimately helping power the magic of the North Pole.
This one is to me, is kind of like a Christmas comfort food. So I'd seen The Little Girl and Just Go With It with Adam Sandler.
Hello, Palmer. Heard so much about you.
You're British.
So you're the bird what's been giving Daddy the old slap and chico.
Of course, I had a huge crush on Tiffany Amber Thiessen back in the Saved by the Bell days. So, seeing her in a Christmas movie is like automatic win for me. It's heartfelt, of course, family friendly, and it's exactly the kind of like Christmas magic that Hallmark does well. So this one I think should have been maybe a little bit higher.
79. Where Are You Christmas? Where Are You Christmas stars Lindsay Fonseca as Addie, a marketing director who reluctantly returns home for Christmas and confronts long-standing tension with her parents, especially her father, played by Jim O'Hare.
Have you told Santa your Christmas wish yet? The wishes you make this Christmas will last a lifetime.
Sometimes I wish there was no Christmas.
She wishes Christmas had never existed and wakes up in a black and white world where no one remembers the holiday.
Christmas? What is that?
Are you guys punking me?
Teaming up with the local mechanic Hunter, played by Michael Rady, Addie tries to restore both Christmas spirit and color to the town. Where Are You Christmas is an ambitious high-concept Hallmark movie that reaches beyond the network's usual holiday romance formula, even if it never fully realizes its potential. After Addie's wish erases Christmas, the world literally loses its color, leaving her and Hunter to reintroduce people to the joy and meaning of the season. The film clearly draws inspiration from Pleasantville, which similarly uses the transition from black and white to color as a metaphor for emotional awakening and self-discovery. While Pleasantville turns the concept into a powerful morality tale, Where Are You Christmas doesn't dig quite as deep into emotional themes. The biggest missed opportunity, though, is resolution. Addie's return to color should have come through healing her fractured relationship with her father, which is far more compelling than the romance of Hunter. Still, despite an ending that doesn't fully land, the film's inventive premise and strong performance make it stand out among Hallmark Christmas movies. Even if it borrows heavily from Pleasantville, it earns a place on this list for attempting something genuinely different. 78. 5 more minutes. Chicago art teacher Clara Bingham returns home to Fayetteville, North Carolina for Christmas to help her mother run the family candy store after the death of her beloved grandfather, Gerry. While home, she reconnects with her former love, Logan, a retired Army lieutenant colonel, and together they uncover a journal revealing that Gerry, her grandfather, once loved another woman named Martha. As Kara and Logan grow closer, the mystery surrounding Gerry's past forces Clara to confront her grief and learn how to move forward after losing her grandfather. Inspired by the Scott McCreery song of the same name, 5 More Minutes is a faith-driven film that succeeds because it never feels overly preachy. Instead, it focuses on themes of family, loss, and appreciating the time we have with people that we love. Nikki DeLoach delivers a strong performance as Clara, and marking off another movie dealing with a dead grandparent. While the film's twist is fairly easy to predict and leaves a few unanswered questions, the movie still resonates because of its heartfelt message. 5 More Minutes is less about romance and more about the cherished loved ones holding on to memories and finding hope after loss. Something that we're going to see Nikki DeLoach do a lot.
5 More Minutes is the most saddest, amazing, hopeful movie ever. It literally captures all the emotions in one, and I love it so much. I do think it should be a little bit higher, but I'll take it because at least it's in the top 100. Also, Nikki DeLoach and David Hayden Jones are incredible.
77. Mrs. Miracle. Based on the best-selling novel by Debbie McCumber, a widowed father raising 6-year-old twins struggles to balance family life after the loss of his wife. Everything changes when a warm-hearted housekeeper arrives, bringing uncanny talents, heartfelt wisdom, and a little Christmas magic. During the early years of Hallmark's Countdown to Christmas, numerous adaptations of Debbie McCumber's stories became an annual staple, with the Mrs. Miracle films standing out as most successful. Like Mary Poppins, the series follows a magical, angelical nanny who quietly helps struggling families rediscover love and joy. Doris Roberts, best known for Everybody Loves Raymond and National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, originated the role and remains the definitive Mrs. Miracle for many viewers. The original Mrs. Miracle succeeds because of its simplicity. 2 grieving twin boys find comfort and stability through Mrs. Miracle's guidance, while their father, played by the late James Vanderbeek, slowly learns to move forward and open his heart to Reba. That's really all the story needs to be. Mrs. Miracle appears, quietly changes the family lives, and moves on. It's a small, heartfelt Christmas romance, and one that later entries in the series will often overcomplicate.
When I was 9, I watched this movie next to the glowing Christmas tree eating Dove chocolates, and it had heart and magic, and it was about families who just needed some help. And it came through the screen, and it gave me hope. And I've loved Hallmark ever since. And this is below Once Upon a Holiday? Sorry.
76. Once Upon a Holiday. Katie, played by Brianna Evigan, is a royal princess who escapes her privileged life in search of a normal experience. After her purse is stolen, she meets Jack, played by Paul Campbell, who encourages her passion for photography without knowing her true identity. As they grow closer, Katie must hide who she is while avoiding a journalist determined to expose a royal scandal. Loosely inspired by the movie Roman Holiday, Once Upon a Holiday was one of Hallmark's earliest royal romances and helped shape the network's future royal movie formula. Instead of focusing solely on palace drama and fairy tale weddings, the film leans more into humor, adventure, and the fantasy of a royal living a normal life. Paul Campbell's charm and comedic timing elevate this movie, and it reminds us why he became one of Hallmark's most dependable leading men. While this movie does not reach the level of a Roman Holiday, Once Upon a Holiday remains a fun and memorable Hallmark royal romance.
Okay, why is this even on the list? She's a princess, we're expecting her to run a country, and yet she does not understand that New York City has a grid system. She gets completely lost from her hotel. She walks to like a different borough. What is she doing? And we want her to run a country?
Yeah. Are you lost?
No.
Oh.
The weather is just lovely, so I thought I would take this scenic route.
Back to your hotel.
Exactly. I'm gonna go to my hotel, which is
this way.
Genuinely, how is this above Mrs. Miracle? I know you're watching.
75. Miss Christmas. Brooke D'Orsay stars as Holly, better known as Miss Christmas, whose only job is to find the perfect tree for Chicago's famous Christmas tree lighting ceremony. When a young boy sends her a letter and a photo of a towering tree on his family's farm, Holly travels to the small town hoping to secure it for the event. But the boy's widowed father, Sam, played by Mark Blucas, refuses to part with the beloved family tree. Brooke D'Orsay's Hallmark films has not always been among my favorites, but this is one of her strongest performances. She completely fits her role, bringing an infectious, warm, and genuine love of Christmas to Holly. Her relationship with Sam starts off rocky as he dismisses her as another city girl, though he eventually begins to appreciate her charm and sincerity.
Nothing like a small town Christmas.
You're a little early. Festival's not for 4 days. We get a lot of you city folk.
Hallmark careers always operate in their own universe, and Miss Christmas fully embraces that idea. Holly's entire job is apparently dedicated to finding one Christmas tree a year, complete with a salary and benefits, yet she somehow waits until the last minute to actually secure one. It's ridiculous, but that kind of over-the-top premise is part of what makes these movies so enjoyable. In reality, most people would arrange permission before showing up at someone's farm asking to cut down a treasured family tree, but then we wouldn't have the romance. Thankfully, this film leads into cozy charm and that predictable ending, where the tree remains standing and becomes the center of a new annual tradition. Feels fitting for the story Hallmark wanted to tell.
Miss Christmas. Miss Christmas is always one of the first movies I watch, kicking off my countdown to Christmas season. You've got Mark Blucas and, of course, the, in my opinion, legend Brooke D'Orsay. And I think like most people still know Brooke D'Orsay as Miss Christmas.
Oh gosh, so sorry. Sorry about that. Whoa. Oh, haha, sorry. Okay, you go to your right. Go to your right.
And this is just kind of a fun, like, trying to find the Christmas tree to do the annual Christmas tree lighting, but just, I think shows why Brooke D'Orsay is so dynamic and so lovable, and that is not a teachable thing, that is an innate talent, and this is why she is, in my opinion, Mount Rushmore of Hallmark, is because of Miss Christmas. And if you're ever gonna have to convince someone to be a Hallmark fan, start with Miss Christmas.
There's almost nothing wrong with this movie. Her entire job is finding the town or the city's Christmas tree. Think about that.
And it's my job to find the tree that goes in the plaza. So cool.
Again, when we watch these movies, we want something that's pretty ridiculous. Like, you'd have some kind of responsibility the rest of the year. No, it's Miss Christmas. Her name's like Evergreen or something like that.
Hey, I have a reservation.
Holly, right? Happy to have you.
Thank you.
Holly, that's what it is. And it's all about finding the tree. This major thing is, how do they get this tree off this property? Can they get it? Can they not? Look, there's thousands of trees out there that work. Why do they care about this tree so much? It's because she likes the guy. But that's what we love about it. Her whole holiday is finding this tree, falling in love. That's what we want. There's nothing else going on in this world except finding a tree. I want that for 2 weeks. Sign me up. Call me Mr. Christmas, Miss Christmas all day. Hey everyone, I'm Cousin Chad from the Christmas Cousins podcast, where I co-host it with my cousin Seth, and also Gilmore the Merrier podcast over with Dan and Bran from Bramble Jam and Deck the Hallmark. Super fun. Two of probably the best podcasts out there. If you're not listening or watching, please do. If you already are, thank you for doing that. And I look forward to doing more, if that makes sense.
74. Santa Tell Me. Erin Krakow is Olivia, an interior designer turned host of a home improvement television show, finds a letter from Santa promising she will find the love of her life by Christmas Eve named Nick. The next day, she meets 3 different guys, all named Nick, and proceeds to date all 3, but finds herself attracted to her producer, Chris. What is fun about this movie is the silliness of her dating all of the different Nicks. It's clear that Benjamin Ayres, Christopher Russell, and Kurt Cesarka had fun portraying Nick A, B, and C. The fight between the three when they discovered that each have been dating Olivia was hysterical, and each actor took their role well over the top. I know Hallmark fans were excited at the reunion of Erin and her When Calls the Heart co-star Daniel Lissing. Now, I've never seen that show, but it's clear they have some chemistry. I love Hallmark movies that use Christmas magic as the answer for anything that doesn't make sense. How were her childhood items still in a house her family sold and is now abandoned? Why does she keep going to all the restaurants with the different Nicks? Why would she suddenly become a host on a TV show? And why would people care about their relationships? The movie doesn't take it seriously, and neither should we. That's why I don't care about if these questions are answered. Just have fun with it. And sometimes that's all a Hallmark movie really needs.
So at Hallmarkies podcast, we love our Hallmark hunks. And what could you ask for more than to have 4 Hallmark hunks? And that's what you get in Santa Tell Me. With Christopher Russell, you've got Benjamin Ayers, Daniel Lissing, and Kurt Svarska. It's so much fun seeing Aaron Krakow with all these hot guys, and and of course back with Daniel Lissing after When Calls the Heart, and it's a fun story of her trying to decide what she wants out of her life and her family and everything, and so yeah, perfect for Christmas.
73. Catch Me If You Claus. Italia Ricci stars as Avery Quinn, a news anchor finally getting her big break hosting the Christmas morning broadcast. But on the eve of her debut, she catches an intruder in her home who claims to be Chris, the son of Santa Claus. Convinced he may be tied to a string of local robberies, Avery digs deeper and uncovers not only the truth about Chris, but also a major scandal involving the town's mayor. I really enjoyed this movie, but my biggest complaint is that it never feels magical enough. If you're making a movie about Santa Claus, you have to fully commit to the fantasy. We should see the reindeer fly. We should visit the North Pole. The movie hints at that Christmas magic without ever truly delivering it. 2024 was a year when Hallmark experimented with fresher storylines, and Catch Me If You Claus stands out for how unique it feels. It's cute and goofy and playful without being outright silly. Luke McFarlane brings a ton of charm to Chris, though I do wish the movie spent less time on the crime ring mystery and more time on letting him embrace the role of Santa's son, trying to deliver gifts on time, and really making out with Avery in that car. I mean, look at that.
Italia Ricci and Luke McFarlane were both at the top of their game in this one. It is a combination rom-com, adventure, and thriller, all wrapped into one perfect Christmas bow.
So I'm a sucker for an animated opening credit sequence. So already I'm in. I can tell we're going to have old school caper shenanigans, and we get them. And in fact, this movie has kind of the same plot as another Christmas caper, the Disney Plus's Dashing Through the Snow. And strangely, it's the Hallmark one that's better.
It was Christmas. You know, when you have a Christmas movie, it's not about Christmas. This is about...
Oh, come on. Santa.
Santa's son trying to be Santa, and he doesn't want his dad, who's Santa, to get him to be upset with him because he was screwing up left and right.
And Luke McFarlane, he's always delightful. We like Luke.
Catch Me If You Claus. 73 ranking? No way. I think it definitely deserves to be ranked a little higher than that. I mean, you have 2 actors who I think are almost better than Hallmark quality, or deserve better than Hallmark quality, with Italia Ricci and Luke McFarlane.
But the absolute highlight of this movie is Italia grinding away on Luke's lap and fully devouring him in the hottest kiss in Hallmark history.
But Luke McFarlane and Italia Ricci have some very, dare I say, sexy moments for a Hallmark movie. So yeah, a lot better than you would expect a Hallmark caper movie would go.
72. 3 Wisest Men. The Brenner brothers return for their third and maybe final film. Luke is expecting twins, Taylor is weighing a major out-of-state job offer, and Stefan is trying to plan his wedding. Their holiday stress only grows when their mother announces she's selling the family home, making this their final Christmas at the house. Between surprise in-laws, critters hiding in Christmas trees, and a reluctant mall Santa, the brothers are forced to confront adulthood in ways they never expected. To make their last Christmas together count, they'll have to rely on each other more than ever. The third Wise Men film leans heavily into the familiar, giving audiences exactly what we've come to expect from the Brenner brothers. Fan service has become a major trend among film and television, with callbacks and returning characters often carrying as much appeal as the story itself. Andrew Walker, Paul Campbell, Tyler Hines, and Kimberly Sustad all returned, and while it's undeniably fun to spend time with these characters again, the movie did feel like a celebration of the trio's chemistry more than a story that truly needed another chapter. But that's not to say that this isn't enjoyable. The three leads clearly love working together, and their chemistry remains the franchise's biggest strength. Writer Russell Hayline delivers another light, entertaining story, but at this point, the appeal is Walker, Campbell, and Hines themselves. Their dynamic is exactly why fan service works here. My biggest criticism was that the film never quite gives the trilogy the emotional send-off it could have had. And you know what that means. There's probably going to be a fourth one. Even with all these complaints, the third movie's a lot of fun to watch, and more enjoyable than the hundreds of movies that didn't even make this list.
They did not need this one. Really, a trilogy?
Yeah, you take your IP and you know when to kill it. This was pushing it. We love all the actors.
Even the second one was a stretch. They didn't need it. But
yeah,
this
it worked.
One, absolutely not.
No, this was just really tired, and you couldn't get involved because you were not. It was already over from before it even began.
71. Just in Time for Christmas. Just in Time for Christmas stars Eloise Munford as Lindsay, a young psychology professor torn between two futures, accepting her dream job across the country or staying in her hometown to marry her longtime boyfriend Jason. On a foggy December night, a mysterious coachman gives her a glimpse 3 years into the future.
You're at a real crossroads. You'll figure it out. Sometimes all you need is a little time.
Showing her the life she could lead depending on the choices that she makes. Christopher Lloyd played Lindsay's grandfather and is easily the best part of this film. One of the movie's biggest missed opportunities is not using him more. Lloyd's chemistry with Munford works so well that the film almost feels like it needed him to guide Lindsay through her journey. The second major issue is the way the movie handles time travel itself. Riding through time on Captain Kirk's horse-drawn carriage may be unique, but it lacks the excitement and wonder you want from a story built around a fascinating concept. Still, Just in Time for Christmas gets a lot right. Instead of revisiting the past, the movie explores the future, allowing Lindsay to see the woman she could become depending on the decisions that she makes. Combining time travel with It's a Wonderful Lifestyle premise, the film delivers a surprisingly ambitious concept for a 2015 Hallmark movie. '70, The Christmas Train. In another Hallmark Hall of Fame film, Tom Langdon, played by Dermot Mulroney, embarks on a cross-country train ride searching for inspiration for his next book about his father. Along the way, he meets Eleanor, played by Kimberly Williams Paisley, a screenwriter traveling with Max Powers, a director portrayed by Danny Glover, who hopes Eleanor will write his next film. This movie is packed with recognizable actors who do not normally appear in Hallmark films, giving The Christmas Train its Hall of Fame name. I also have to mention Joan Cusack. Her oddball character ended up being my favorite part of this overstuffed but surprisingly fun movie. While most of the film takes place aboard the train, the occasional stops allow the romance story room to breathe. Maybe it's the chemistry between our two leads, or maybe it's simply the train setting itself. But I really enjoy this movie, especially at the end with a big moment when the train is freed from the avalanche. 69. On the 12th date of Christmas. On the 12th date of Christmas, two game designers are tasked with creating a phone app, sending users on a romantic city-wide scavenger hunt featuring historic Chicago landmarks and neighborhoods. Mallory Jansen and Tyler Hines star as Jennifer and Aiden, co-workers competing for the same promotion who unexpectedly begin to fall for each other while trying to satisfy a demanding client. On the 12th Date of Christmas is a fun holiday movie that asks you to suspend disbelief a little bit, especially when it expects you to buy that two game designers could build an entire scavenger hunt app in just a few days. Still, the strongest part of this movie is watching Jennifer and Aiden brainstorm ideas and work together as their relationship develops. The film does get sidetracked at times with unnecessary family storylines that pull focus from the more engaging central plot. But I really enjoyed Mallory Jansen in this, and it's great to see her appearing in more Hallmark films. Jennifer is someone who genuinely loves Christmas, but struggles with self-doubt as family pressure makes her question whether she chose the right career path. Meanwhile, Tyler Hines plays his usual toothpick-in-the-mouth cool guy designer persona with effortless confidence. The contrast between their personalities works well, and their chemistry is off the chart.
On the 12th Date of Christmas, this is the movie for me that solidified Tyler Hines as a Hallmark legend. Hallmark leading man legend, I should say. This is also what brings us Mallory Jansen as a very reliable Hallmark leading lady. And it's just a fun kind of travel around our city and kind of be forced to work together but find love in the process. They're both so super charming. You've got incredible scenery and just the whole game of itself. And then of course the clues of all the dates and bringing it down to the way he sort of pulls her in for the last date with that rooftop kiss. I mean, come on, this is as Hallmark as it gets.
This is a movie where two people have to create a Christmas scavenger hunt. A Christmas scavenger hunt, and it is actually a fun hunt. Like, they put some thought into creating the clues, creating the places that people would have to go. So on a plot level, this movie is a lot of fun because it feels like they actually bothered to get the details right.
On the 12th Day of Christmas ranked 69th, Criminal, Purely Injustice. Mallory Jansen is adorable, charming, beautiful, and that dress she wears at the finale is an all-time great. Tyler Hines, well, Tyler is everything that we love about the guy. His performance is exactly why there are legions of Heinies. And the kiss at the end, I rank this as Tyler's spiciest kiss of his entire career. The heat in itself is worth watching this wonderfully cute movie.
They're terrific, and this movie ends with maybe my favorite Hallmark Christmas movie climactic kiss. So check it out for yourself and enjoy watching them play the game. It's actually pretty fun.
Merry Christmas, and I am Rachel Wagner. I'm film critic and podcast host. I am the founder of the Hallmarkies podcast, where we cover all things Christmas and Hallmark, and it's so much fun. Merry Christmas.
'68. Once Upon a Christmas Miracle. Heather Kruger, a nursing student, begins to feel ill, discovering she's battling a life-threatening liver disease. With her health failing, time is running out as she waits and searches for a liver donor. Everything changes when she learns that Chris Dempsey, a man she has never met, is not only a perfect match, but has selfishly agreed to donate part of his liver to save her life. As Heather prepares for the surgery, the two form a close bond that gradually turns into an unexpected romance. Based on a real-life story, this is not your typical Happy Christmas movie. Amy Teagarden plays Heather, delivering a vulnerable performance as a young woman who receives the worst news anybody could want to hear. I found myself concerned and anxious seeing someone so young suffer. And even though it's a Hallmark movie and I knew it was going to end with a happy ending, I was still concerned. I don't always need a feel-good, fun Christmas movie. A good tearjerker Christmas movie sometimes hits all the feels. Luckily for Heather, Chris, who quickly fell for her, stepped up without any hesitation. What we get is a wonderful story that starts on a sad note, but like all Hallmark films, has a kiss at the end. '67. Let It Snow. Evil property developer Ted Beck, played by Alan Thicke, sends his daughter Stephanie to survey the newly purchased Snow Valley Resort. There she meets Brady and discovers her lost Christmas spirit and questions her relationship with her father and his true intentions for the property. Candace Cameron Bure as Stephanie feeds into the trope of opposites attract. Her and Brady don't care for each other in the beginning, but they do have one thing in common. They both hate Christmas. Stephanie and her father do not celebrate Christmas after her mother passed away, while Brady has spent his entire life making the season special for their guests that he's never taken any time to enjoy it for himself. As both Stephanie and Brady grow to love the holiday, we share her enthusiasm when she discovers the magic of the holiday and what's in her stocking.
It's Christmas!
Our first Candace Cameron Bure, also known as CCB, film on this list is often cited online by Hallmark fans as their favorite. With Candace abandoning Hallmark for that other channel, placing her on this list may seem wrong. While I'm not a huge fan of hers, we can't deny that some of her films played a role into what Hallmark movies are today.
Let Us Know is one of the first big bad developer trope movies to happen, where her dad, Alan Thicke, wants to buy the rustic lodge owned by Jesse Hutch's family and turn it into a ski resort and take all of the charm and whimsy away from it, make it sterile and corporate, and you have to hate him and root against him the whole time. Also, she's falling in love with the leading man. So what does that do to us? You're going to be rooting for the underdog the whole time.
Candace Cameron Bure and Alan Thicke together. I mean, come on. This movie gives me like major 80s sitcom vibes. It almost feels like someone crossed Growing Pains with like a Hallmark movie. And you know what? I'm here for it. So Alan Thicke, even though he's this stern, cold businessman and father, he still has that like warm, dependable screen presence that we all love. And he just kind of makes this one even better. And of course, Candace Cameron Bure, classic Hallmark right there.
Iconic. We've got Alan Thicke. We've got Candace Cameron Bure, who used to be like the Queen of Christmas. She's fallen off, but the movie's fun. She travels to this snow resort. They're trying to make it this big, cold corporate thing. But who wins out? Christmas.
It's Christmas!
And the great like family run in and the good vibes. What are they doing? They're skiing, snowboarding, making s'mores, fires, hot cocoa. That's what I want in my Christmas movies. Snow, mountain getaway, nothing to do for 2 weeks. I would go to that inn right now.
66. A Royal Christmas. Prince Leopold, heir of Queen Isidore of Cordinia, is a royal in hiding, dating the commoner seamstress Emily, played by Lacey Chabert. He tells her that he's been deceiving her and unveils his royal identity right before he proposes. They travel to his country, where his mother Isadora wants Leo to marry the Duchess of Warren, Natasha. But with the help of castle staff, they teach Emily how to impress the queen in the hopes she will accept her. The story of royal marrying the commoner has been done numerous times, and this is one of the first original Hallmark royal films that defined that story trope. I'm a sucker for the Hallmark royal films, and this has always been one of my favorites. Jane Seymour plays Queen Isadora, and she's instantly unlikable. She's unkind to Emily, who's done nothing wrong. Her anger should be put on her son for not telling Emily who he was. Emily does everything to impress the queen, even eating haggis.
Go.
And in the end, eventually the queen comes around and accepts Emily for who she is. This was Lacey's second Christmas film, and while I don't think this is her best performance, I find myself watching this one every year.
We're not really into the royal films, but you know,
the royal goes to America because he's trying to find his way. Trope is done to death. Falls in love with Lacey, and then he has to come clean. Then brings her over, and the mom is just nasty through the whole movie.
He is very nasty.
Oh, she is, and she was a perfect actress too.
But this one also, very blatant product placement. When he walks in and he holds up Walmart bags.
Yeah.
Please, I don't need that.
Yeah, it was just...
I don't need product placement. I get it, you need money. Don't throw it in our face.
You could check off all the tropes. It was pretty dull.
What's up, dudes? I'm Gerry D from Totally Rad Christmas. That's the podcast that talks all things Christmas in the 80s, toys, movies, specials, music, and fads. If it was gnarly during Christmas in the 80s, we got it covered. So if you love Christmas, nostalgia, and honestly a healthy dose of retro pop culture, come hang out with us.
'65. Fur Crazy. Fur Crazy stars Sarah Lancaster as Elise, a woman who reluctantly steps in to run her father's Christmas tree lot after he breaks his leg. Before long, Elise finds herself at odds with the grumpy manager of a nearby store who views the tree lot as an inconvenience and is determined to shut it down. Fur Crazy, the title taken from the term stir crazy, meaning feeling trapped in the same confined space or performing the same routine as in selling trees, really stood out to me in 2013. I know I've already mentioned movies feeling unique for their time as a reason they make this list, and I'm going to do it here again. Fur Crazy takes place in New York, or most accurately, Canada adjacent. Instead of the typical small town or Christmas ranch setting, the story focuses on Christmas tree sellers working on city streets. Add in the heartwarming stories of repeat customers and families who make buying a tree from Elise's father an annual tradition, along with a solid romance between Elise and Darren, played by Eric Johnson, and you get a unique Hallmark film for its time, and one worthy of a spot on this list.
I think the character's motivation is so clear and reasonable. Unlike some of these movies where they just randomly hate Christmas for no reason, her motivation makes sense. She grew up with parents who ran a Christmas tree farm, so it's natural that you would resent Christmas and Christmas trees, and her being thrown into having to run the Christmas tree lot is interesting and entertaining, and you get an arc from her. The romance is actually more secondary, but it's still pretty fun between Sarah Lancaster and Eric Johnson. The whole dynamic between her and Colin Mockery as the grumpy department store owner makes it fun. It's just a very sweet, endearing, I think well-written Christmas movie.
There's just something about this era of Hallmark movies. They weren't about winter and they weren't about commercialized Christmas. They were just about Christmas. I mean, like the kind of things you could only get at Christmas, like a sidewalk Christmas tree stand. But it also has real stakes, it has real heart, and is it good? No, not even a little bit. But it has Colin Mockery in it, so you might as well watch it.
A Christmas tree lot at Christmas, trying to save the family business. I loved this one.
Has the Scrooge element. It was just awesome.
I know, he was downright.
He was just nasty.
He was just an angry person.
But he grew a heart.
64. Hanukkah on Rye. Unable to find love, Jacob and Molly are both set up with a hired matchmaker by their grandmothers, while Jacob is visiting New York, scouting a new location for his family deli. Molly becomes upset when she learns that Jacob wants to open the new restaurant near her own family's deli and confides into her secret match, unaware she is writing to Jacob. Ironically, the Hanukkah movies continue to be some of the best films in the countdown to Christmas celebration. Reminiscent of the Love by Mail stories, The Shop Around the Corner, and You've Got Mail, Hanukkah on Rye attempts to retell the story in today's world with cell phones, deli meat, and knishes. Jeremy Jordan and Yael Grobeglass have great chemistry. Along with the supporting cast, everybody embraced the overtop storyline and hysterical close-up food transitions. Throw in a musical performance from Lisa Loeb, and you get another great Hanukkah rom-com.
Honestly, I think this one should be much, much higher on the list. This is probably one of my favorite Hanukkah movies on Hallmark Channel. Standout performances from the leads here. And honestly, the script is so solid, so funny, so well written, and I think it really captures so much of the family dynamic of families around the Hanukkah season.
Sure, yes, Hallmark does a lot of You've Got Mail stories. I get it. However, this one has latkes, so already it's doing better. 10 out of 10 story, 10 out of 10 acting, 10 out of 10 latkes. You can't go wrong.
63. 'Twas the Date Before Christmas. Unlucky with dating since the death of her fiancé, Jessie is about to give up on finding love again until her family plans on canceling the traditional Chamberlain family Christmas Olympics. Jessie lies to keep them from canceling and says she's bringing someone. She quickly meets Brian on a dating app, seeking someone to join her and pretend they are a couple to her family. I was happy to finally see Amy Groening get her first lead role in a Hallmark Christmas movie. She has played the best friend in countless Hallmark movies and always stood out above the rest of the cast. Robert Buckley and Groening have great chemistry, and you felt their attraction to each other and made a memorable first date. I love a good fake dating trope since most of the time they aren't believable, making the families dumb and not realizing the lie. However, this movie allowed the family to be suspicious, with her mother pulling Jessie aside and asking her what's going on. So let's talk about the ending. I found that solution for saving the candle store a bit much. After all, Jesse owned the company that was renting the storefront. Just say you'll work something out and enjoy the holiday, and don't pull your employee away from his family on Christmas Eve to solve the problem. I found the Christmas Olympics fun, not something I would ever do. I like a nice, relaxed, lazy Christmas, watching movies like this one.
This is the movie that really took me to a next level of admiring Robert Buckley as a Hallmark lead. I had liked him in the Christmas House movies. I was not familiar with his series work before them, but he is so charming in this movie. And he and Amy Groening have such great chemistry. Plot seems so ridiculously contrived in that a couple has their first date at her family's Christmas Olympics, but they make you buy it. And the family is so fun, and the Olympics are so goofy, and the plot resolution is so obvious and yet charmingly handled anyway. You wind up forgiving a lot, and you mainly forgive it because Buckley and Groening are so great together.
62. Christmas in Conway. Neighborhood grump Duncan, played by Andy Garcia, may be a difficult man to get along with, but he's an admirable man who cares for his wife. Susie, played by Mary Louise Parker, is suffering from cancer. Afraid this might be her last Christmas, Duncan begins building a Ferris wheel in his backyard to remind her of the time he proposed to her at a seaside carnival. Christmas in Conway is another Hallmark Hall of Fame film on this list, and probably one of my personal favorites. You have to admire a man who is so dedicated to his wife that he won't let anybody stop him from constructing the Ferris wheel. Admitting that he needs help from landscaper Tommy putting the Ferris wheel together, and his wife's home care nurse Natalie, played by Mandy Moore. The overall story of watching a woman slowly dying is a tough watch. Mandy Moore's Natalie is a saint for what she does. While she likes Tommy and wants to explore a relationship with him, her first priority above everything else is her patient. Mandy Moore plays the role well, and I wish we saw more of her in Hallmark films. While it does have some quirky characters, including Sherry O'Terry as the nosy neighbor, if you're looking for a laugh, this is not the movie for you. And at the end, if you don't cry when Susie takes a ride on the Ferris wheel, you're a monster. '61, A Carol for Two. Violet, acted and sung by Jenna Claire Mason, moves to New York to star in a Broadway show that is shut down before it even starts. She takes a job at Fiore's, a legendary theater district diner famous for its singing waitstaff, hoping one day to make it to Broadway. After an amazing performance of Oh Holy Night, she's given the big opportunity to sing a duet with Alex on Christmas Eve. A retelling of the Cyrano de Bergerac story combined with amazing musical performances saved this movie from dumb storylines. For example, Violet not telling her father the show was shut down or having a place to live before she traveled to New York are glaring issues that are not needed. While I like the overall story, Brad felt out of place. I question why Violet would tolerate such an obvious, horrible human being. I can understand one bad decision going out with him, but the fall for him made no sense. That being said, the singing was wonderful, and I wish Hallmark had taken the steps to make this an actual musical.
Carol for Two features two Broadway stars in Jenna Claire Mason and Jordan Litz, and this was a slam dunk decision by Hallmark to bring Broadway to the network. Loved every minute of it. They are so talented, and seeing them shine in this movie was such a treat.
You are my favorite gift this Christmas.
You are my favorite gift this Christmas. Who knew I'd get you this Christmas?
We're 40 movies into this countdown. Stay tuned as we continue to count down the top 100 Hallmark Christmas movies of all time. Be sure to click on that subscribe button so you'll be notified when the next video is released. Do you agree with my picks, or do you think I've got something wrong? Well, then let me know in the comments below. I'm sure you will. I'm the Christmas aficionado, and remember, stay off the naughty list.